What's good? What's good, my fellow main characters? My name is Bam. Welcome back to the channel for another video. I hope I didn't crush my glasses, bruh. Yeah, they look okay. Yo, guys, and today I'm going to be talking about the latest episode of Mob Psycho 100. I don't remember what number it was, either 7 or 8. I don't remember, but it was such a good episode, man. And I feel like it came at the perfect time, bro. Oh my gosh, the perfect time. This episode spoke so many volumes, and I don't even know if it knew it was doing this. I don't even know if, because one is low-key, one of the best mangaka story writers. Let's not talk about his illustrations, because we all know how One's illustrations you guys don't know, One is the creator of Mob Psycho 100 and also the creator of One Punch Man. The story of One in particular is a very interesting story. And it's a very inspiring story, I gotta say. One is a person that had a dream of becoming a mangaka creator, someone that creates a manga. But the issue is that he really can't draw. Like, he's really bad at drawing. Like, but the way he's able to create characters and their motivations and how they see the world is so unique and crazy that it pulls you into his stories. But because of like how it looks in terms of the illustrations, people don't really pay that much mind, and they're not willing to get past what they see in order to get the content of it. And it's crazy because One Punch Man, arguably when it came out, had the best animation period compared to every other anime that came out during that time period.
Listen, you know who Reagan is, bro? Reagan is the shield hero.
But yeah, guys, like I was saying about One Punch Man arguably came out being the best animated thing ever. But if you look beyond the leer of like the animation, beyond the aesthetic, beautiful leer of it, is like it really has this complex story when you're really focusing on Saitama, and you could see this like one likes doing this thing in his writing where it's like he likes to show you the truth, not I guess the optimistic side or the pessimistic side. He just likes showing you the reality of the situation. He likes to show you this is what it's really about when you look at the characters. And I think I'm really enjoying Mob Psycho Season 2, especially this season, because it really is showing the truth. And I didn't think that this episode would come out and we will get so much depth and focus on Reagan this episode, and kind of like how it was really felt like a commentary on like our whole social media and political climate as it is now. Like how we can go on to social media and people can somehow go into it's crazy to me how people have so much time on their hands that they can go 19 years into the past or 30 years into the past and find records about your whole life and everything, and just put that as like you. I think all of us did things when we were kids, not necessarily bad things, but things that we will consider like, wow, that's dumb. And it'd be kind of crazy to like have something you did when, like, say for example, you were 11 or 12 or you know, whatever, come back when you're in your 20s and be like, haha, you said this when you were a 12-year-old. You said ice cream and worms taste delicious, and you know, people saying that that's you, but it's like, come on, you have had years to develop and grow and evolve from there, which is something that they did with like Reagan, you know, where Reagan was at the press conference this episode, and oh bro, the way Reagan was able to finesse them by turning it into instead of like an actual press conference, he turned it into more of an arguing state, because Reagan knows where his strengths lie, is actually crazy. I loved how he said like no comment, or it gave the logic behind why he gave no comment, and how everyone in the audience was like, what? What? He's turned the tables on us. How's that possible? But the whole episode really felt like a commentary on the idea that you could do one thing and then people blow it out of proportions. You'll have people on the internet actually just lying lying about what you did and forging information and just speculating and running wild with their imagination and posting as rumors on the internet and people accepting it as facts when in truth it's not. And you could really destroy someone's whole life like that. And I think even now, if you've been, I guess, pay attention in the Dragon Ball community, the Dragon Ball community with Vic, I think his name is, with all the allegations kind of coming out about him and him losing his job and everyone attacking. Like, I've been following the story kind of quietly. I wasn't too sure if I wanted to even talk about it on my channel because I truthfully don't like politics and just drama in my anime. I personally don't like it when I wake up in the morning to go watch an anime episode or watch Dragon Ball. I don't want to think about politics or sexual allegations and stuff like that. I don't want to think about that stuff when I'm watching my anime. But everyone wanted to promote it, so I looked into it a little bit and I watched videos and I looked into more details about it, and I'm like, so far what's coming out has all been up in the air, floaty kind of allegations that are just fueled by some false sense of some falsely placed sense of emotions, I'll say. I think emotions are valid and important to feel that way, but how you execute your emotions is a key part. If you feel angry at the fact that you hear that, Vic did this to this person, then I'm like, okay, hold on to the anger and, use it as a way to actually get proof and evidence about it. Don't forge proof. Don't lie to people and to spread rumors about it. And then to get this man fired and to have him lose his whole job, I think is actually crazy. And I don't know, I really saw that in this Mob Psycho episode when it was coming on to Reigen, and I enjoyed so much about the ending portion of it. When Reigen was having his whole introspective moment when he pulled up his old essay. How did he get his essay from high school? First of all, that goes back onto the fact that people can go into your past and pull stuff that you forgot about years ago, right? And it asks Reigen a question of I want to be somebody important. And then Reigen had a whole thing where he dived into his whole life. And then that's when he met Mob. And Mob was a trigger for him to, want to do more with his life. He found inspiration and something important and special in Mob when he met him. That made him, want to do stuff. When he said that comment saying you've grown up so much, and everyone was like, who are you even talking to right now? And then we all know Bob came out of nowhere, was emotions 100%, I got you, master. Started doing all that stuff to be oh. And I love how Reigen was he was not even commenting on it. He was mad calm. He was well, I wonder about that. Well, I'm going to end the press conference now. Have a good day, guys. Well, everything's still floating, going crazy, and everyone's please, are we going to be okay? Are we going to be safe? And then you also had that one kid eating the chips, saying oh, that's bullshit. And I'm you always have those people that are out here thinking oh, special effects, oh, leaving it and, just holding on to their biases and not willing to accept new details and information. Which is, I think, is an important, literally an important, do I even call it a skill? Whatever, I'll call it a skill. A really important thing to be able to do. You have to be able to absorb information that is both similar and different to yourself, absorb it, and then break it down and figure out if it's true or not, and if it applies to your life in a meaningful way. And if it does, assimilate it. And if it doesn't, poop it out. As simple as that. But be willing to listen and take in the information, process it, and discern for yourself if it's something that truly applies, if it's something that truly is a truth, At least the voices that are out there on the internet nowadays aren't trying to do that. They want to hold on to their biases. They want to hold on to their first initial thought or feeling about something and not try to really find the truth in it. And going back to the whole Vic situation, because this episode's making me think about that. It's okay, Vic might have done something that they accused him of. truthfully, Vic might have done something that they accused him of doing. But someone can say that about anybody. Someone can literally come up to you or your friend or your family and say that they did something. But until you have like that evidence, until you have beyond a shadow of a doubt they did it, then you can't flame the person forward. You can't attack them for something they didn't do. You know, you gotta have the evidence, you gotta have the proof. You know, you gotta get that, you know, because if we, you know, it's dangerous now, because I feel like if we decide to live in a world where you don't need proof to, you know, you don't need proof to flame or destroy somebody's whole life, then we're all in trouble. Like literally every one of us, because we all have a social media presence now. We all, in some sense, are in the limelight of other people's lives. Like most of us, I think, like a lot of us, like even if you have Facebook, you have like over 100 friends. Like it's like we're all being watched by so many different peoples nowadays. Like I go onto YouTube, this video could potentially be seen by hundreds, even thousands of people. You know, it's like we all are being, like, the light is being shined on us to varying degrees, right? And so if someone could just come out and say like, oh, this person did this and everything, without giving like evidence, and everyone just accepting like, oh yeah, this person said he did this, so it must be true. I think that's a dangerous world to live in, because it literally says any one of us can be flamed or destroyed for something that we potentially didn't do. So I'm not saying in the case of Vic he didn't do it, but I'm saying let's make sure he did it, because if we don't, we could be destroying an innocent man's whole career. And I think it's important that we get the evidence and we get the truth about that. Getting back onto Mob Psycho, towards the end where we see Mob and Reagan meeting up, and when Mob said, I always knew the truth about you, and I'm like, oh snap, and he says like, you were a genuine person. Because truthfully guys, Reagan is a really genuine person. Although he is a scam artist, let's be real, he is a scam artist, but it's like his intentions for how he does things is valid and important. Because if you think about it like this, in every instance we've seen of Reagan so far, when he's done his scamming, even when Mob's not there, he's done his scamming in a way that was beneficial to someone's life. Because sometimes, most of the time guys, 9 times out of 10, when a person comes to Reagan's office saying that they're being haunted by an evil spirit, it's literally all in their head. And they just need a change of perspective. They just need to get that placebo effect of like being thrown salt on, or getting like a deep tissue massage to take care of the crinks and stuff in them. So 9 times out of 10 is really just all in their head. And you know, Reagan is good at getting into people's heads and understanding things because he's so skeptical. And he waits until he gets the evidence of it before making a final judgment. But even in the case when he was dealing and talking with Mob the first time he met him, you know, he was able to recognize that, you know, for whatever reason, whatever he believes and whatever he thinks is distressing him. So let me answer that distress. Let me make him feel better. Let me help him to understand the world in a more constructive, better way. Even if I'm doing it under the guise of like being an Esper when I'm not really an Esper, right? And Mob felt that, you know, and you know, Mob felt that. And so when Mob says you are a genuine good person, it really hits, you know, it really hits. And I think it's also important. It's like, man, that's why I love One, man. I love One because it's like he sees the world and he's like, this is crazy. Let me make an anime about it. This episode of Mob Psycho, I think, couldn't have come at a better time, especially in how our society is now and different things and allegations and stuff going on. It's crazy. I really enjoy it, and you know, I think it really shines some light on things, which I think is cool and important. I love Mob Psycho, man. And I love how real all the characters are. Like, even with Reagan, I've always saw Reagan as just this guy that can just finesse his way out of every situation. And it's just a cool, mature dude. But these past 2 episodes or so really explored into, you know, Reagan's psyche in terms of, like, you know, he's human like everyone else, and he's, you know, he's prone to being at fault and stuff like that. And you know, it just was like a kind of a honest portray of like what a person in Reagan's position and in his skill set would be thinking and showing. So really enjoyed the episode. It was really awesome. I know I don't talk too much about Mob Psycho on the channel. You know, this is probably the first time I talked about it, but you guys know how I be. Whenever I get hyped up or really interested by an episode, I just make a random video about it and see what you guys take about it. So anyway, my filmmaker characters, thank you for watching this video. Like this video if it made you smile, comment this video made you think, and subscribe when to see more. And always remember that you are the main character of your own story, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out! Woo!